Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to my top 100 board games of all time, vintage style. Alright, so let's do this. We're at the top 20. You're going to start seeing some games moving up on this list and a few dropping out of my top 10. Oh, that's right, about half of my top 10 is going to be not brand new games, but new games in the top 10 because some of my top 10 are falling out. Oh no! Well, let's look at this. Let's get right to it. Number 20 is a game that jumped up 3 little spots because it was number 23 last year. It's called Electronic Mystery Mansion. In this game, you're basically going through this mansion. You're putting out these little, it looks like doll furniture. The electronic device will tell you what to put out. And if you want to search it, there are numbers on the little doll furniture. They give you a magnifying glass, which we do use in the game, to kind of look over it and punch it in, which could give you clues. It will probably give you clues on where the money's hidden. And if you're the one who can find that money, you win. Such a simple game, and every time we play it, I love it more and more. I already told you I love electronic games, and Electronic Mystery Mansion is definitely getting better and better each play. I mean, heck, it's in the top 20 now, which I think is where it belongs. At number 19 is another game that just catapulted on my list. It was number 34 last year. That means it goes up 15 spots on my list. And it's a very simple, classic game called LCR, left, center, right. You have these 3 little tokens and you're rolling these 3 die, which will tell you to give one to the player to the left, to the right, or to the center, which means you remove it from the game, or it'll say, hey, you can keep that coin. And of course, you're trying to keep your 3 tokens, be the last player with tokens to win the game. If a player starts his turn without a token, he is out. Ooh, such a great game, such a fun game. It fits in my pocket. I can take it anywhere. It's so easy to play, so simple. And my little nephews can play it. My adult board game group can play it. In fact, I have brought it out a few times just to kill time and wait for someone. We will play LCR. It's just such a great game. It's super cheap. I even saw this at Everything's $1, brand new. They have little LCR games. So if you want to go to your local Dollar Tree and pick this up, it's definitely worth it. Such a small, simple game that's a lot of fun and is number 19 on my list. Number 18 is a new game to my list. It is called Gold, or I think Eureka is another name for it. And Gold is basically push your luck in a way. You're going out there searching for gold. And I say push your luck because if you get too much gold and you come across a bandit, if you can't beat that bandit, he'll steal all your gold. So you want to go out and get a lot of gold, but you don't want to get too much gold. You want to go back and deliver it real quick, because also another player can land on you and try to steal it from you. Yikes. So the more gold you have, the more of a threat robbers are. So you go back to your little shed and deposit your gold and you can go out for more. Now, there is a time limit on the game, and I love this. On the die, there is a train where the 1 will be. And if you roll the train is basically the game tracker. And if you roll that 1, you move the train 1 spot on the railroad track. And when it gets to the end of the railroad, the game is over. And whatever gold is in your shack at the end, that's who wins, whoever has the most gold. I love this game. I cannot believe a game that this smart came out so early back in the day. Like I said, the mechanism where the time track, man, you can go many rounds without anyone rolling a 1. Then all of a sudden, 4 players roll 1s and that train looks like it's zipping across that track. You're like, oh no! Like I can't remember, I was playing a game where I was trying to get back. I had a whole bunch of gold and no one was anywhere near me. I was like, yes, I'm gonna win. And all of us, including myself, kept rolling 1s, and I saw that train, which was behind me, shoot way in front of me and end the game. Wow. Like I said, the more I play this, the more I love it, because when you come across a bandit, you're scared. You got to beat that bandit's number or tie it to escape it, and it's not scary at first when you only have a few gold, but when you have a lot, I just love this game. And this is another game that I think I'm being even conservative, putting it at 18. This could be a top 10 game if I got to play it a little bit more. But for right now, I'm going to put it at 18 until maybe when the newness wears down, I'll have a better idea of where it should be. But right now, super great game, Gold. At number 17 is a 3M game that has impressed me so much this year. It moves up 15 spots. It was number 32 last year, but right now it's in the top 20 and it is High Bid. Ooh, High bid, you are basically bidding for different items, different collectibles, and trying to get so much money in certain collectibles to win the game. I played this with my wife. She enjoyed it. She thought it was so-so. And so that's probably why I ranked it a little bit lower, because I know I loved it. Well, then I played it with my nephews, and they really loved it. I mean, we played back-to-back games because they didn't want to play the next one. They said, let's play one more round of this. And of course, that's always a good sign, right? So I knew right then and there that this game was going to shoot up on my list. I love bidding games, and High Bid is one of the best. So there it is, my number 17. Number 16 is a game that was 18 last year, so technically it moves up 2 spots as well, and it is called Web of Gold. And Web of Gold is an old game from, I think it's TGR or TSR or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I found an ad for the game in an old comic book from 25 years ago, and it got me hooked. I'm like, what is this game? And I bought it, and lo and behold, one of my friends from my gaming group had it as a kid too. So when I showed it to him, he was like, no way! And so we played the game, and it's a ton of fun. It moves up a few extra spots because it's still a great game. You're moving around this cave, grabbing items to help you look for gold. You're trying to get 6 gold nuggets back to your base to win the game. But watch out, because every player also has a spider that's spinning webs and biting people and trapping them in webs. And it's just such a smart, simple game. I love it so much. This is something that can go out for a vintage board game night or be a part of the regular board game night too. My regular board game night loves playing Web of Gold. So it wasn't good enough to make it onto the... I haven't had that happen yet, where a vintage game propels itself to get on my top 100 board games. But Web of Gold has a good shot because it is getting played by, you know, both parties here. Anyway, for right now, Web of Gold, number 16. My number 15 was in my top 10 last year. It was number 9, so it dropped 6 spots, so it's out of the top 10. Still a great game, though. It's called Hotel Tycoon. Hotel Tycoon is, I always explain it as Monopoly on steroids, because basically you're moving around the board, buying up property, building hotels on that property, hoping other players get land on that property to collect their money. And of course, you want to own everything by the end of the game. And folks, it is a great feeling to own everything, let me tell you. But I had to drop it out of the top 10 because also it's a sad feeling to know you're not going to win. And you can know that 15, 20 turns out. When someone has just collected a ton of monopolies on one way, you're like, there's no way I'm going to win this. And so you can see that look in their eyes when they realize I'm not going to win this. But they still got to play, even though they're just waiting to die and be eliminated from the game. And when I saw that, I realized it wasn't the best game because of that. So it shouldn't be my top 10, but I still kept it in my top 20 because my nephews absolutely adore the game. They want to play it all the time. They love Hotel Tycoon. Even though they know someone is going to get killed, you know, they still love playing the game. Now, my adult board game group actually inquired about the game, and we may play it, but I don't think they would like it because of that rule where, you know, there's a runaway leader issue with it, I guess. But it's still a fun game, which is why it's number 15 on the list. Number 14 on my list was on my top 100 board games of all time. It was number 80, and sadly it was being pushed out by all the new games I was getting. So I said, okay, well, it's old enough to be put on the vintage board game list. And when I did that, it moved up 66 spots. Yeah, way to go. And it's still the best Batman game I own. That's right, folks. It's Batman Gotham City Mystery. I love this game for the art. I love this game for the little minis, the pre-painted figures in it. They're so nice. You can be Nightwing, for crying out loud, and Robin and Batgirl. I think that's totally cool. And some person plays as the villain, which is usually me. It's got this great system where if you capture one of his henchmen, you put in the little slip in this little bat computer, and that's the coolest thing about it, which eliminates the choices of who it could be. And every time we play the game, it seems like it lands on the last move where I'm about to get away and reveal myself and win the game, and they have to guess. And it's always between, usually, sometimes you can guess it because the bat computer will eliminate to one person and the bat team wins. However, a lot of times we play the game, it's down to 2 people, and they don't know which one, so they go, I'm going to guess so-and-so. And they always get me. I have yet to win this game. And it's so funny because I'm picking, you know, boring characters. You know, I say boring, but I was Two-Face last time. Who do you want to be, Two-Face or Catwoman? I should have picked Catwoman because everyone said, oh, he's got obviously Two-Face. What? One time I could have been the Joker or the Penguin, and they said, he's the Penguin. I was like, what? Or one time I was the Joker, and they said, he's the Joker. How do you know? How do you know? That's incredible. But it's such a super fun game. I did not get Batman, Monolith game Batman. I thought it was a little too much, and I wasn't that interested. It's a very high price tag too. So I guess I'm just sticking with Batman Gotham City Mystery as my favorite superhero board game, and definitely the best Batman game out there. Number 13 is another game that was on my best board games of all time list. It was number 77, and just like Batman Gotham City Mystery, I saw it falling from the list. It's old enough to be a vintage game, even though it did get re-released. It is the game Survive. Survive, you're a bunch of meeples on an island, and you're running away from sharks and squids and whales and sea dragons, sea monsters. You got dolphins and boats and volcanoes exploding, and you're trying to get as many people to shore before that volcano explodes and blows up the entire island. And then at the end, it's still not over, because then you check at the bottom, and whatever numbers are on those meeples, you'll add those up, and that's who can win. So you can actually, someone can score a bunch of low meeples, it has a lot of meeples that escape, but they're all low numbers. Someone has just a few escape, but they're all high numbers. That person could win. I love that about the game. I love everything about this game. So because I switched it over, it moves up 64 spots. Another big mover here. Now that's on the vintage board game list, and it's just great. If I can play this with 6 players, that's my dream. I haven't got 4 players been the max, but maybe I have played with 6. Either way, I want to play with 6 again. Either way, I want to play with 6 players and have mass chaos. If so, if I get that, it's almost guaranteed to be in my top 10 one day. But Survive is a great, great game. It's been reprinted. Get the little expansion for it too. Super fun. Survive, number 13. At number 12 is another game that was in my top 10 and has fallen. It was number 6 last year. It dropped 6 spots to number 12. And that's Mr. President, my favorite 3M game. The only reason it drops is because I didn't get to play it this year. It's a 2-player game, and I don't get to play 2-player games, but if I can get a chance, I want to bring this to the forefront. It's an election game. You're just basically, the box turns into a ballot box, and you're just taking turns playing cards, throwing them in different areas. And at the end, you count up how many votes you have in different states. And that's the exciting part of it. But doing the votes are exciting too. There's so much about this game. When you're playing it, people never realize how fun this is. I played it last year, was the last time I played it. And my buddy, when I pulled it out and he went, oh, we're playing that. We were waiting for someone to say, yeah, let's play this real quick. And at the end of it, he loved the game, and I did too. And it's a shame it just didn't get to play, because it is by far my favorite 3M game. If you were to buy one 3M game, High Bid's a good one, so is Feudal, but Mr. President is an awesome game, and that's why it's number 12. And finally, number 11, which made a huge jump on my list. It was number 28 last year, but after playing it again with the missus, I realized how much I really love this game, and she did too. And of course, that always helps these board games here. And so it moves up 17 spots right here at number 11, just shy of being in the top 10, Roller Coaster Tycoon. What? You're thinking, what, Matt? That game doesn't look that good, is it? I know, it doesn't look that good, but for some reason, I love it. You're running a theme park for 12 months out of the year. It goes 12 rounds, and in those rounds, you're blind bidding, you're trying to get concession stands and rides, then you're rolling this die, and you're moving that colored audience, that family, to those rides to get tickets and, to get coins. If you move it on another players, you're still going to get a coin, but they'll get the majority of the coins. But you may want to do that because you still want to get some money, right? So it's kind of like area control and bidding at the same time. I just never realized how great a game this was. And the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. In fact, I wrestled on whether this should be in the top 10. Now, here's the kicker. There are people in my adult board game group who want to play this game. Because after I played it one night, I told them about the next day. I said, oh, this is a great game. They said, oh, we should play that. So maybe I'll bring it out to them too. But it's super cheap to get. That's the other thing. You can find this super cheap online or in antique stores, and definitely pick up a copy, because the more I play it, the more I appreciate the simplicity and fun of running that game. Disney should totally grab the rights to that game and retheme it as Disney World. It would sell like hotcakes. Roller Coaster Tycoon, awesome game, my number 11. Okay, folks, that's it for now. Come back next time as I go over my top 10 vintage board games. See you then.